So I'm delighted to be here and to talk about my field, textile design. How textile design interweaves creative practice and technology. So textiles, they touch us, they protect us, they give us warmth and comfort. Cloth is near to us all. We're literally wrapped in it. They are part of our lives. Textiles engage with other fields and knowledge and are part of a collaborative effort, making themselves available for use. They are with us, around us, within our spaces and environments in ways we don't even realize, often remaining unnoticed. Past, present, and future. The history of textiles is a story of practice and technological advancements driven by inventions and innovation. String revolution is a term used by some archaeologists to describe the consequences of a breakthrough innovation during the Paleolithic period, some 30,000 years ago, when our ancestors learned how to make cordage, twist and plait short fibers from leaves into continuous yarn. This invention opened the door to an enormous array of ways to save labor and improve the odds of survival. String, yarn, can be used simply to tie things up, to catch, to hold and carry, to hunt, and to fish. The world of textiles evolves from fibers, the building blocks, and structures, the interlacement of these fibers and yarns. The technological development of tools for making textiles is fundamentally interrelated to the advancements in these fibers and yarns. For example, in the Bronze Age, the breeding of sheep to produce finer wool guided textile innovation at that time to wool fabrics with a remarkable range of structures, patterning, and color. For example, in the textiles which have been found in the salt mines in Hallstatt in Austria. Now, the new man-made circular fibers and yarns reform textile futures. Technological innovations, such as yarns with electrical properties, spur the development of production technologies and widen the possibilities for textile applications across disciplines. Textile designers can use their technical skills and tactile sensitivity to explore new directions for developing textiles with interactive capabilities, as in this image. Here at Aalto, textile collaboration spans from Aalto Arts to all the other Aalto schools. The creative potential of textiles is in their tacit ability to narrate, to tell stories. Exploring material meanings, emotions, identity, metaphors, and myths. This rich historical repertoire, design, knowledge, and technological innovations travel with textiles, transcending space and time. The softness and ultimate fragility of textile materials capture the vulnerability of human experience. Its structure encases the tactility of emotions, memories, lived moments, and relationships, an ideal medium for sharing stories. Memories. What is your first memory of a fabric? I remember the curtains in my room at a very early age. The fabric had blue rose bouquets on a white background. In the nighttime, the patterns turned dark, revealing creatures instead of flowers, taking me to far story worlds. Or a memory, a bit older, of lying at home on a wool blanket and realizing that it was, in fact, a composition of yarns of different types and colors, following them, interlacing over each other, forming patterns and uniting to create new colors. I was fascinated by this multidimensional, interwoven universe which I could touch and feel. How was it made? My passion for textile materials, structures, patterns, and colors led me to study textile design at the University of Art and Design. I wanted to create materials, explore yarns and colors, and learn how to interweave my stories to them. Since graduation, I have worked in the textile industry as a textile designer and creative director, leading teams of designers and engineers in developing fabrics and collections. I have come to use the palette of textile techniques, materials and processes to tell textile stories. Here is my creative space and some tools. The factory floor of Vanelli, a Turkish interior textile mill with 140 looms and further gigantic machines needed to manufacture fabrics, from making the yarns to weaving, printing, dyeing, and other finishes. The available machinery and technologies at the mill set the framework for design. Creative design practice in the industry requires constant rethinking and challenging of these boundaries. It is teamwork, cross-functional collaboration, and co-innovating. And it requires a thorough understanding of the manufacturing process. Sustainability needs to be considered at each step. The industry is adapting to new sustainable materials and processes. And now, this image shows me where I feel at home at Aalto University. At the industrial jacquard machine in the textile workshops at the School of Arts, Design and Architecture. I have shuttled between teaching at Aalto and textile design practice in the global textile industry, from Turkey to India to Austria. Bridging the industry and academia, and developing education that emphasizes the importance of both creative and technical skills in textile design practice. I will return to the jacquard machine later, but first, I will talk about textile design practices and the future. So, this graph illustrates the main production steps in a vertical textile manufacturing process. It shows the hierarchy of textile structures. So, the textile design process runs from designing fibers, to designing yarns, to designing fabrics, and to final finished fabrics. Textile material, it can be designed in a microscopical scale, as in engineering a man-made fiber, as here in the School of Chemical Engineering, the ion cell, for example. Or a yarn structure can be created from these fibers, and then the structure of the woven fabric or a knit from those yarns. And textiles, they are always destined for an application into another designed product. So the market segments, they range from fashion to interiors to automobile industry to construction to healthcare, medical applications, technical applications, and much more. And the vertical production capabilities at a mill, from yarns to finished fabrics, they offer endless potential for creative collection design. Here, you can see a collection being formed, guided by a visual storyboard and colors. But not only by the aesthetics. In the world of interior fabrics, the textiles are designed for purpose, to last in use. The fabrics are tested and must fulfill the parameters for market acceptance. Engaging the team in visual and haptic storytelling when leading creation of fabric collections guides creative work throughout the collection design process. The color palette is defined. And now I want to talk about this. An essential part of collection design has been to define color palettes for dyeing yarns and fabrics. We hear about the color of the year, exactly defined and controlled colors. This year, I think it is Peace Fuzz, and last year it was Viva Magenta. This has been the textile designer practice since synthetic dyes led to standardized exact colors. As said, the industry is expected to consistently deliver fabrics with exact color shades, from roll to roll. When aiming for more sustainable textile futures, it is not the wonderful tactility in textiles or the textile stories we need to change. It is the demand for exact color shades. And this is something which often is not discussed. We need to define circularity and sustainability as the colors of the future. This image shows shredded blue cotton textile waste. Sustainability, circularity, and digitalization are driving a major transformation of the global textile system. This change is further driven by legislation on sustainability. One of the most sustainable and scalable levers available is fiber-to-fiber recycling, turning textile waste into new fibers, yarn, and fabric. To capture the opportunity of fiber-to-fiber recycling, overarching collaboration, rethinking, and innovation across the value chain will be the key. Here, you can see textile-to-textile recycled blue cotton fibers spun to new yarns from recycled blue textiles. Now, I will focus on the aspect of color. New types of recycled fibers and yarns are now entering the industry. Some of these fibers are already colored. Color, too, can be recycled, as in this picture. Not always the same blue, but blue. In this case, skipping the yarn and fabric dyeing phase skips a major part of textile production's water, energy, and chemical consumption. Different fibers have different dye uptake properties. Even a minimum amount of foreign fibers in a recycled yarn results in unconformity of the dyeing result. As said, the industry is expected to consistently deliver fabrics with exact color shades from roll to roll. Demanding new recycled fibers from the industry seems easy for the designers. But with it comes the need for us designers to think new about color consistency. We need to accept the temporality of color. This major transformation demands that we, designers, rethink our practice, and not only textile designers, but also interior designers, furniture designers, fashion designers, designers of whatever application the textiles are designed for. Now, back to the jacquard machine and weaving. In woven fabrics, two sets of threads, the warp and the weft, are interlaced to form a structure, the fabric. Whether it is the simplest system of the plain weave, with alternating over one, under one interlacement, or complex multi-layered construction, as these jacquard fabrics on the loom, the structure of a woven fabric comes always down to two variables, the warp and the weft. This image shows pages of binary notation system of woven structures. Yarn by yarn, row by row, the interlacement in the structure marks the warp yarn either above the weft, black, or below it, white. Zeros and ones. Coming to the end of my talk, I want to tell you more about the textile invention which brought us to the digital age. The invention of the jacquard machine by master silk weaver Joseph-Marie Jacquard in 1804 stored information for the first time in binary format on its perforated cardboard cards. Jacquard's invention of the punch card is based on the fundamental principle that woven structures include two variables, the warp and the weft. Inspired by the Jacquard machine, mathematician and mechanical engineer Charles Babbage and mathematician Ada Lovelace created the analytical engine, a programmable calculator with memory. This basis of modern computing laid ground to the invention of the Turing machine and the birth of automatic information processing, computers, and data networks. And I will finish my speech with textile thinking. Textile thinking provides a framework for understanding how textiles open up to other disciplines, beyond the traditional textile design realm. The understandings developed through the practice of using textiles to explore new concepts and design challenges. The method guides professional textile design practices and processes. Textile thinking strives for a holistic understanding of the potential of thinking with material, bridging the creative practice and technology. I might be a dreamer, but even now, we might be on the verge of a new era, resembling the transformation which the invention of the jacquard loom started. Thank you.